everybody.
Hello.
I literally just put eye drops in. So, sorry if I'm starting this like looking like I'm weeping. No, it's Lumify. It's because I get kind of dry eyes, and that's not cute to look at while we're doing this. So they'll be nice and bright and white. How is everyone doing this evening? Hi, Andrea. It's so nice to have you with us. I did the same thing this week that I did last week, where I'm not really doing a lot of heavy lifting to advertise this, because I want to see if people are actually like getting the notifications and if they can just remember what the time is, because it's a lot of extra stuff. It takes a while to make all those newsletters and stuff. So I just want to see how many people hang with us. Hi, Elaine. I hope that you're having a nice Friday, TGI and F and all. So today we've got a lot of stuff to cover. Of course, we've got the wig that I'm giving away, which I will also continue to talk about. And we're going to be talking about a really nice, inexpensive eyeshadow palette today and pairing it with topper prototypes. So we're not actually going to be showcasing any wigs. We're going to be showing some toppers that I'm thinking about making for the fall. And they just happen to be in colors. And so I'm actually interested in showing you and getting some feedback on. And I also, I'm not wearing a wig cap today, obviously, because I'm going to be putting these on my head to show you what they look like. I've been growing my hair out for months just to be able to do demonstrations like this with toppers. So I'm actually pretty excited about that. Hi, Shelly. It's nice that you could join us. How is it in Florida? I hope it's nice down there. It's kind of cold up here today. I wasn't really expecting that. We've had a bit of a cold snap going on. So as you guys know, this is another installment of Have I Got Nudes for You? As in, have I got nudes for you? Hey, hey. Or, wink, wink. Or like, well, not so much wink, wink, but you know what I mean. And the other one is basically like, is it really a nude eyeshadow? Well, this palette is called It Nude, right? So it should be nude. And I have been playing around with this for about a week now, and I really like it. I'm just going to state up front. I've already shot a review. I just haven't had an opportunity to edit it yet. Once that's ready, that'll be up on Patreon. And I like to do that as a supplement to what I do in these live streams, because the live streams are very limited in terms of quality because of bandwidth issues and limits imposed on it by YouTube. But the actual reviews that I edit, I can get them up to 4K. And they're really nice and crisp, and I get really in there, and you can see all of my pores. It's truly horrific, but very detailed. So, but yes, I filmed one of those, and it will hopefully be up on Patreon soon. This is...
Shelly says there's very nice weather here today, low 80s.
Oh, that sounds delightful. Sounds absolutely fantastic.
And Bettina says hello.
Hi, Bettina. It's nice to see you again, too.
And
nice
Suzanne is joining us for the first time.
It's nice to have you with us too. This is
Hi, Suzanne.
Thank you for joining us.
And Cheryl's here.
Hi,
Cheryl. And so is Kristen. Hi, Kristen.
Are any of you guys topper wearers? I don't know if any of you missed this, but I'm actually going to be demoing some toppers tonight for something a little bit novel. And I'd like to get some feedback on them. That's why it's going to be me and my bio hair. And I'm going to show you how I prep for toppers, and it's going to be a whole thing. I'm also going to do my eyebrows on camera tonight because folks after the last live stream asked me to. So sure, why not? I've done that on these live streams before, so let's do it. Let's see. In general.
Hello, Helen.
Hi, Helen. Oh, go ahead.
Oh, sorry. It did that thing again where I went to click something and it moved, but Andrea says I don't have enough hair for toppers.
You know what? Technically, I'm more or less in the same boat. Like, look how thin it is here on the sides. That's not real great for toppers. Just trying to put that out there. Like, if you're real thin like me, you'll want to, you may even be too far gone, I'm afraid to say, for even a 3/4 wig. And you may just want to like make the switch. Wigs are great when you have this level of hair loss. But the thing is, like, some people like to do toppers when it's hot. Some people like to do toppers when they're doing updos. They like to have the versatility to switch them out. The ones I've made have wide bases, but they're not 3/4 wigs. So I wouldn't even really wear them every day. But if I prep properly, I might be able to get away with it once in a while. So let's see. As I mentioned, the whole premise of this is kind of a question, like, are these really nude eyeshadows? And so we're going to test these to figure that out. And the eyeshadow palette reviews, the detailed ones, will be up on Patreon at some point, as I mentioned. This was determined by viewer poll, so make sure you check out our community tab so that way you can vote each week on what we're going to do. Now, at some point before our spring collection arrives from the factory, I'm going to want to take like a week off. I'll let you guys know once that's actually been arranged, and if we have anything scheduled, we'll just push it back. I'll let you know. But I figure if I don't do it before it arrives, I'm probably not going to have any time like that until like winter. So I basically need to just pounce on the opportunity if it arrives, you know. Let's see. Again, be sure to vote on our community tab. And freaking rad human hair giveaway announcement. I kind of stalled a little bit, but this is a really, really beautiful human hair wig. I'm giving away this one-of-a-kind Eva by Estetica in the color R4 that has been customized to be a sassy, swishy, wavy lob. It's about this long. It's about 16 inches. It's very pretty. And each clue that I give away each week will be part of the entry process. Plus, I will give you a secret code word. This is all going to be very silly. Once you know what we're doing, you will realize that this is very, very dumb. But it will serve a purpose, and somebody will get a wig out of it. So yay. But yeah, it's cheesy. Watch the rest of the stream for the randomly placed clue and new clues every Friday in May. So the prize value is worth $2,599. It's open to US, Canada, UK, and Australia viewers. But if you're international, so if you're not in the United States, you're responsible for duties, taxes, shipping, etc. We're basically just providing the wig, but it's a really nice wig, and it's kind of worth it, I think. And entry is free. I'll make sure every single step of the process is 100% free. Because, yeah. But, you know, we'll announce the winner of the drawing in the live stream June 4th. If I end up having to take a break anytime between here and now, I will absolutely let you guys know in advance. The prize is as is. However, the winner can take this beauty, which was only worn by me on camera a couple of times, to a stylist of their choice if they win. And so make sure you sign up for our newsletter to get more announcements like this. All right. Now we finally get into the thing after I just did all that stuff. I'm going to discuss the palette a little, and then I'm going to create a look live on the fly, and then we will test it with the toppers. So the first test is it nude? And that is, can you get a natural look with this palette? Is it work appropriate? Could you wear it to church, etc.? You know, no makeup, sort of. So I'm going to use a really light touch when I apply it. If you want to see more dramatic looks, again, I'm going to do that when I really test those boundaries in the Patreon video. And I can do some pretty extreme stuff sometimes. I don't mind going full on draggy with it. But that's definitely more detailed, and it's definitely got a lot more extreme stuff. We're really just trying to see how subdued can we possibly make it with this palette. I suspect you could do a great number of things with this palette and it would still come across very natural after playing with it. So the second test, though, is it neutral? As in, does it go with all the colors of the toppers I've got on the table behind me? We're going to test a warm, a cool, and kind of like a wild card. So again, prototypes. It's going to be super fun. Nigel, you want to take any comments, talk to anybody, anything?
Yes, I will. Just thought might interest you. Where is it here? Bettina stopped by Jelly Belly today to get some jelly beans for her brother, whose birthday is coming up.
Oh, what
and
kind?
She got chili mango flavored. That sounds nice, don't it?
I don't know if I'd be able to handle, but it sounds amazing.
Oh, yes.
Sounds very, very good.
All right. Helen says, wigs rock. Even if my hair came back, I'll always continue wearing wigs. Certainly a sister wig.
Thank you, Helen. I agree. Wigs are amazing, and they're very easy. Toppers can be kind of tricky to pull off, but you get more styling options, particularly here in the back. So it does have its purposes. It's just wigs are really easy. I like easy. That's also why I like synthetic stuff, like the synthetic wigs in general. They're so much easier to work with.
Suzanne says, toppers aren't enough for me. I've cicatricial alopecia, meaning I have too many bare patches on top. I'm here because you two are adorable. Thank you, Suzanne.
Thank you.
That kind of got cut off. That is a thumbs up. I'm not being rude.
Thank you so much. That's so sweet. Well, we try to keep it lively. And oh my gosh, we were doing some really fun stuff earlier. We watched The Big Lebowski.
Oh yeah.
Yes, and I actually went to the park earlier, and I got a matcha tea latte from Dunkin' Donuts, and then I sat in a park until I felt like I got basically ambushed by a bunch of yellow jackets, and I kind of ran off. But and there were very loud birds. It was quite enchanting until I think the bees discovered that I had something sweet with me. Serves me right, I think, for trying to sneak in some sugar.
But you're just sweet on your own, Heather. Helen Kirk says you two are adorable, so she agrees.
Excellent.
Thank you, Helen.
We're very cheesy. We like each other a lot.
I'm cheesier than that quesadilla you brought home.
Yeah. Oh, I'm so looking forward to that later. Okay, so let's see. Let's talk about this palette a little bit, and then I'll put some brows on. We'll do some fun stuff. So this is the It Nude palette. It's $10 for 14 grams. Very inexpensive, very budget friendly. Where can you get this? Like everywhere. It's at Target, Ulta, Walmart. This is definitely drugstore brand all the way. Now here's the thing about it though. It is such good value for money. This is genuinely an excellent value for money. I've been playing around with this palette and I got some very, very, very fun looks out of it. In fact, I took some pictures. So even though I haven't been able to necessarily get the video edited, I can still show you what the looks ended up like. So on the one side, I did kind of like a classic natural Clinique look, you know, real soft. You know how they have those little charts on the mirrors of Clinique eyeshadows? I literally just followed that chart with this palette, just with colors from this palette. And then I also went a little bit shimmerier and more dramatic on the other side, and I actually used like a hunter green eyeliner at the bottom, and it looked really cool. But you can see I definitely try, you know, one side is one thing and the other side is another. Today we're going to go all the same. But I got some really nice depth out of here, and these apply brilliantly when you get your brush a little damp. This is a brand that applies really well when it's damp. So you can really build it, which is part of the reason why this is such a good value for money, because I love some Maybelline and stuff like that, but not all of their eyeshadows are necessarily very consistent, you know. This palette is really consistent all throughout the shade range, just really, really good. And I also think that it's kind of inclusive. It's got a pretty deep color down here. And it's got a really light color here. So it gives you that full range. And most of it is either true neutral or a little bit neutral cool. And you have the two warm shades. Everything else has an almost slightly cool undertone, which I love. It's so easy and it goes really nicely with my skin tone, and allows me to wear a really light coverage foundation that actually matches my skin tone today. So hooray. I like that. It allowed me to go a little bit more gung-ho with the blush, which I also really like. I love layering blush colors on. It just looks so perky. So how's everybody doing, Nigel?
Kristen says, love the Big Lebowski. Nice marmot, man.
Well, that's just like your opinion, man.
Kelly says, dude, that wig really ties the room together.
Yes. Oh, there are so many beautiful lines. Every single word in the movie is just meticulously placed. It's just so good.
Helen says, thanks for reviewing something on the affordable end.
Absolutely. You know, I noticed that every week when I was making the polls, people kept voting for really ritzy palettes, and I'm all for that, but I wanted to get some variety up in here. We're going to be doing drugstore brands, or not drugstore brands, department store brands, I believe, next week, because everybody voted for, well, most people voted for the ABH Soft Glam. So that's what we're going to be doing next weekend.
Cheryl says, how about featuring some cream liquid eyeshadow sometime?
Could totally do that. And in fact, I've
already made the note.
Yeah, I've got some luscious cream duochromes. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh.
Oh, those are bloody amazing.
They're very good. Oh goodness. I've got this one from Sydney Grace. Okay. I'm gonna have to wash my hand after this, but that's okay. I got wipes. So, ooh, shiny. It's bloody fantastic. It's so good. It's the sort of thing where I'm hoping that I can actually shoot this outside because these things look phenomenal when you get them in full sun. It definitely has like a dark gray base, not like necessarily black, but it is definitely dark gray. So, you know, it's gonna look dramatic. I have other ones that are not necessarily duochromes. I do play around with the creams and the liquids, just not as much. But yeah, I got some. We can play. Actually, there are a couple of interesting, very brightly colored palettes that I've recently acquired. And I wanted to talk to you about a couple of those as well, just in case any of you are interested in just hanging out and talking about those sometime. Or if I do take a week off, I could always film a review in advance of one of these things, and we can make that the thing while I take a break. So, you know, I don't want to leave you in a lurch, and I got plenty of stuff to talk about. So, one thing.
Speaking of which,
yeah,
Jody says, "Have you seen the teasers for the Urban Decay Prince collection?
yes,
I'm counting the days to the 25th."
And you know that my background turned purple as soon as you said his name. Did you notice that? Yay! The power of Prince compels us. No, I
need to
love.
bathe in the healing waters of Lake Minnetonka.
It's true. It's true. Why are you laughing? That ain't Lake Minnetonka. Oh, but you know, I'm one of the few people that actually liked Under a Cherry Moon. So yeah, I'm definitely buying it. I don't even need to see what it looks like. It's going to be mine.
I bet there'll be purple in it.
Hey, I am absolutely fine with all of this.
Kelly says, "What is this thing you call a vacation?"
I know, right? I was just talking to Nigel. I was like, do you not? Oh my God. And I actually had to think about this. I was like, okay, if we count when, oh gosh, there's an echo. If we count when my dad had a heart attack and I went up to Ohio to visit him, then I had a vacation in like what, 2019-ish, 2020-ish, 2019-ish, I think. But you know what? Like, that's not a vacation because my dad was in the Cleveland Clinic. So
it was summer 2019.
Not exactly a thrill ride. And then I was in my friend's wedding, but you know, that's not exactly about me and Nigel and us having leisure time. I was the matron of honor, so I had a lot of stuff to do, you know?
Yeah, that was October 2019.
And those were lovely things to do. I'm very eager to do things like that again, but I don't count it as like a vacation. And so I realized that I hadn't actually had a vacation, like a real vacation, since October of 2018. No wonder I'm like, look at my hair. It is very indicative of my I can't even talk, level of frazzledness on some days. I think it's just because I need to look that word vacation up in the dictionary and learn what that's all about.
Just before we move on, I want to say that interesting trivia point. In the Mortal Kombat games, they specifically created a purple ninja called Rain, so he would be Purple Rain because they're big fans of Prince.
Look at my pretty. It's so pretty. This is my little baby magnetic palette collection. I've got these stained glass multi-chromes. How do you pronounce the name of this brand, Nigel? You're very good with this stuff.
Well, that's the thing about Celtic names, because you get Niamh and it's pronounced Neve. So that's probably that's probably Dave. I'm gonna go with Cleonath, but I'm probably very wrong with that.
Oh man! Oh no, we have some people talking about vacations and Prince. We should absolutely take some comments before I do this. Don't worry, I'm gonna swatch while you do it. So we're gonna do something fun. This is actually not the palette I'm talking about, but I have to show these to you because they're just phenomenal. Go ahead, Nigel.
Okay, let's see. Jody says, "Girl, same. I'm getting it all." Cheryl says, I need purple. Bettina says, purple.
Look at that purple. Ugh. You see that?
Nice.
This is why people like to, like, it's like finger painting, you know? It's, I totally, like, that is the appeal. It's literally like the childhood glee of going, ooh, sparkly. It's just super fun. I will probably look like a very flamboyant clown person, and I am completely okay with that. Look at it. It's all like super shimmer sparkles. Pretty much the opposite of what we're doing today. But if you're interested in seeing any of my multi-chromes, I've got some JD Glow up in here. Got this really beautiful chartreuse color from them.
Kelly says these are fabulous.
Yes. Okay. So let me know in the comments if you guys would like me to do a video of these and kind of talk about them, because I'm excited to kind of get more. I'm super in love with them. They're phenomenal. Here, let me stand up because I think it's going to be easier for me to get my whole arm in the shot.
Cheryl says, what is the last color?
This last color is, I had to make like a little wax paper key for myself so I can remember. So that one is number 9 is Chartreuse, which is a shimmer. It's by JD Glow. So they literally just call it Chartreuse.
She's talking about the blue.
The blue. Okay. The blue is, it's actually kind of like, it's kind of almost like indigo. It's like number 6 is Tower, and that is from this brand that we don't know how to pronounce because we're not really good professional makeup artists. We are literally just playing around. But Nigel, what is the do you have any idea? This is something you should Google and come back to us and let us know.
Well, general consensus is that people are liking that.
Fabulous. Fabulous.
As for vacations, Bettina says last vacation was 2018 to New York City.
Oh, that's probably fabulous, though. But you're
let's see what else we got here. Kathleen says last real vacation was October 2017.
Kathleen, how do you do it?
Bettina said, you know all about it. My first vacation wasn't until 2009.
Wow.
And Kristen says, my last vacation was October 2016 to Corning, New York. Loved the Glass Museum and took several classes.
That's super cool. That's super
I once went between 2006 and 2016 without having any proper vacations.
Wow. And it's, you know what, it is absolutely shameful that businesses allow that to happen. Like, I know that I am my own boss and I am terrible to myself. I'm terrible to myself. That is really like the biggest downfall of working for yourself, is because you that carrot is very much always just slightly out of fingers reach, but you see it in front of you all the time. So you're like, grr, 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 and it feels like a treadmill, but eventually things get better, right? So
Bettina said she saw Billy Joel on her birthday.
That's super cool. I love his voice. It's so good. There was another palette I wanted to show you really quickly, and then we'll move on. But this one is one that I waited forever to get a hold of. It's another Kaleidos one. So I've got now 2 of these fancy schmancy packing boxes that I'm keeping forever. Boy, that came out all jumbly. But this is the Club Nebula. It's the one that keeps selling out constantly. I just kept waiting for it, and finally I was able to get it. This is their collaboration with Angelica Nyquist. Woo! And this one's pretty fabulous too. The packaging is amazing. And I have to show you some of these shimmers because they're freaking phenomenal. Look at this. Can you see this? It's like this beautiful kind of coral color. If I were in portrait mode, this would be extremely a lot easier than trying to wrangle my arm around this way. Here, let me see if I move it over a little bit more over here. It'll catch the light a little bit better, maybe. There we go. If you don't mind seeing a little bit of my arm here. Here we go. It's so pretty. And then they've got these beautiful shimmery colors, these like crazy, it's so good.
Ooh.
Beautiful. Look at that. It's like sea glass.
Shiny.
Color is called Firefly. This one is Celestial. Oh my god, it's so good. It's so
I don't
good.
think it should be called Firefly unless it glows luciferin green. But it is a nice color.
I don't know if I would necessarily want glow in the dark eye makeup, but yeah, and the packaging is really outrageously gorgeous. So if you guys would like me to do a review of that or a video of that at some point, I would be super, super happy to do that too, because it's great.
Looking at all these comments, yeah, that's pretty much a given. So put that on the list.
Thank you so much for enabling me.
Oh, yes. Oh, and Carmen says, love the earrings.
Thank you. I collect old-fashioned and or antique clip-on earrings. So these are from like the 1950s. And I get them on Poshmark. I get them on eBay. I get them, well, I used to get them at flea markets and yard sales when those were, you know, more, you know, a thing that was available when we could actually like hang out with each other more often. Okay. I'm struggling to say these things in a euphemistic way because YouTube censors the crap out of everything, and I'm super afraid that they're gonna penalize me if we talk about like reality too much. I don't know if that is a valid concern, but oi, it's like if it's not one thing, it's something else, right? So Nigel, you got any comments you want to take or anything before I get to my brows?
Let's see. Cheryl says, oh, skipped again. Cheryl says, what is the brand?
The brand that I just had, this is Kaleidos. Isn't like kaleidoscope, but like they chop the word off. And they're fantastic. It's like a European brand. So it will take a while to ship and the shipping is expensive, but it's fantastic.
Bettina says censors suck.
Agreed. I think about sometimes going on other platforms, and not so I can talk about like controversial stuff. Like I have no desire at all to talk politics or anything that's like sincerely hot button, because that is stressful. I feel like I would basically get through the video like Tweak from South Park. That's too much pressure. I wouldn't be able to handle it.
And too many people just absolutely friggin' blow up if you're not exactly extreme as them.
I'm super not interested, because to me it's like, I think there's more to life than politics. I just do. I think there are things that are important, if not just as important, maybe even more important than politics. But that's just me. You know.
Right. That's it.
So
take that banner off because it's hiding your face.
There we go. Better?
That's better. I was going to do it myself, but you did it.
Okay. So the first thing we got to do when we're doing our brows is kind of like identify what you're working with. And the one lesson I think is super important when we're talking about angles of your face. It is super important to learn to look at your face and your facial structure without criticizing it. Seriously. You know, the argument I'm going to make is that you will build a better brow if you can look at yourself, identify your angles, try to work with what you've got to the best of your ability, and don't be mad that it isn't what it is, what it isn't, you know? Like, I think the angles, once you get them, will make everything easier to determine. And it's easier to figure out where those lines are if you drop the preconceived notions of what your brow should have looked like if they were perfect already. You know, you just kind of have to be forgiving of yourself. So in this case, what I like to do is I grab a little brush, and I'm going to find where my tear duct is, and we're literally going to map this brow. If you've never done it before, I'm going to show you how to do it. You basically want to find the edge of your nose, your tear duct, and then boom, right around here is where your brow should end. Now, some people can want to bring their brows a little bit more forward. That's a little bit kind of 80s looking. It's sort of the thing now. And some people naturally have brows that go in like that, and they like that. But classically, you kind of line it up. I'm just going to draw a line there. And we're going to blend all this in. I don't map my brows every time I do them. I just want to demonstrate this for people who have never done this before. So I'm going to line that up here. Find my tear duct. Yeah. All right. So they're basically where I thought they'd be. So taking a look at this. And I can already tell that this brow is a little bit higher up. It sits higher than this one. I was in a really significant accident where I landed on my head when I was 30. I was ejected from a raft ride at a water park. And long story short, I hit my head, tore my retina, needed emergency eye surgery, almost went blind. Like my face swelled up like Quasimodo. And when this side of my face healed, part of the buccal fat pad that is in my face actually got obliterated. So I'm actually lopsided. I am asymmetrical. You know, I've got a little bit more padding on this side and a little bit less on this side. And I actually like this side better because it's a little bit higher up. So my brow is higher up. My cheekbones and everything are a little higher up, you know, because this hasn't sunk as much as this side because this side was fuller. It had more weighing it down. You know, it's very subtle, but I know that it's there. And so to correct for that, I position my lights a certain way. I position my camera a certain way. So that way it kind of minimizes the broader side of my face a little bit and makes me look a little bit less asymmetrical. Because if I were just to look straight on, it would be really obvious. So the next thing you want to do is you want to map the edge of your brow. So for me, I just line the tip, this side area of my nose up with the edge of my eye. I'm just going to make another line there, like a little dot. We're going to do the same thing on the other side. Hey now. Line it up with your eye. And you don't have to do this if you don't want to. You don't need an arch. You know, you can do your brows any way you want to. This is just a classic brow map. So now, this is the part that can get kind of tricky, is I'm going to go from the tip of my nose, and this side's actually easier to work with, so I'm going to start over here. Since I know I want this side to look like this side. I'm going to take this brush to the tip of my nose. I'm going to roughly find the center, like look forward, find the center of my eye, and make sure that it's pointing up towards my temples. And that is roughly where my arch should be. And luckily, that is where my natural arch already kind of falls on that side. It's not the same case over here. So we're going to try to even them out. And I'm just going to go by the tip of my nose, over my pupil, into my temple. And you can see that the natural arch is very close to that, right? But it's actually closer to, it's like actually here where it starts, and it's a little rounder and a little lower on this side than on this side. And then the last thing I'm going to do, and I want to use a slightly straighter brush for this part, so I'm going to get a smaller one that isn't quite as tapered. And I kind of want to roll it down and go to the top of my eyebrows looking straight forward into a mirror. And I can see that this is basically lining up with the brush more or less, but this side is not.
Kelly says, lol, do they make eye protractors?
They should. They should. Now, obviously, I'm not going to keep these big lines here. I just wanted to map this so you could kind of see like the shape of where these things should be, where they're not, and what we're actually going to be correcting for. So the rest of this I've actually shown before, and I'm only using this product because I have a bunch of it open. I plan to move on to other eyebrow brushes and try different techniques, but this is the one that I've been using lately. This is an Urban Decay brow blade in Brunette Betty, and I'm going to walk you through the process of doing one, and then I'm going to do the other one really fast so we can move on. But I'm really going to draw a really thickish, kind of heavy line in tiny little strokes on the bottom here. And the way I like to do my brows is not necessarily like ombre towards the front, because I know that's supposed to be giving like a highlighted effect almost, and most people are naturally a little bit more sparse near the front. I like to make it a little lighter as it goes towards my hairline. And that's because, you know, this is naturally kind of a curve. There is naturally a little bit of a shadow here, and it will really make your eyeshadow highlighter pop if there's a little bit of a darker contrast in the brow. Make your eyebrows look a little bit crisper too. Now, to fill this in, I'm using upward strokes. And I'm not going all the way to the top. And they don't have to be completely even. Just little strokes, making sure. And I like the crayon side, the pencil side rather, which is what I'm using for this part, because you can shade with it, which is a little bit softer sometimes than the individual lines. And we'll go over it with the individual lines in a moment. I forgot to wash my makeup brushes after I filmed those tutorials, so I'm going to be using slightly different brushes than I usually do. So you don't even need to use this, you know, the same tools that I typically use. You don't have to have a whole bunch of fancy equipment. Just kind of have an idea of where you want your brows to sit. And I'm going to clean all this up, so don't worry if it looks crazy just now. Now I'm going to go through with the pen side of this. And as I've mentioned previously, when you work with the pen sides of these kinds of brow products, you want to practice on your hand a little bit to get the pressure right, because the smaller the amount of pressure you want to use as little pressure as you can get away with, because that's how you're going to get really fine lines. And the harder you push, the thicker the line's going to be.
Cheryl is saying, what products are you using, Heather?
This one here is the Urban Decay Brow Blade, and this is in the color Brunette Betty. It's kind of like a medium dark brown. And I tend to be really meticulous about my brows. And this is a double-sided product. So one side is a pencil, and the other side is kind of like a felt tip pen with like a really, really, really fine tip. I've tried other products, like Benefit has a similar product, and this one is still my favorite. I do have to clean up the edges here because they're looking a little bit drawn on. That's all right. That's why they invented makeup brushes. So I'm going to try to figure out what brush I want to use for that particular task. I might use this smudger. That's good. All right. Nigel, you got anything to say, honey? Or are you just mesmerized by my lopsided beauty?
I'm entranced by your galactic level of pulchritude, my sweet.
Thank you.
Also, Jody says this is why they say brows aren't twins, they're sisters.
That's right. That's right. Absolutely.
And every time I put a comment up, it covers exactly what you're doing.
That's all right. You could just talk. What
Alrighty.
you is interesting too, honey.
Yeah, a lot of people saying how their faces are asymmetrical, and you know, I'm the same way.
Yeah, I think it's common, really.
Yeah.
I think it really bugs me because I have to stare at my face constantly. Like sometimes I genuinely feel like I would probably get such a kick out of my life if I actually was a narcissist, you know, because part of one of the things I find really uncomfortable about doing this is that I'm constantly staring at my face. That's why I appreciate it, Nigel, that you help me with my Instagram and actually pick the images and stuff like that, because that makes me super uncomfortable. Like, I don't mind taking the pictures, but I still feel kind of cheesy. Like, whenever people ask me what I do for a living, I almost never mention that I'm on YouTube. Like, I don't know why. Like, I just feel so cheesy even mentioning it sometimes. Like, yes, I'm an influencer. Like, it just, I don't know. Maybe that's just me.
Well, Tara's got an interesting question. Do you ever use any cool brown shades for your brows or just warm? I had a hard time finding ashy brown, which is what I need.
This is actually pretty neutral, the one that I put on. There's actually a color that I have from this line that's called Cool Kitty, and it is like a medium ash brown undertone. It's great.
So Urban Decay Brow Blade, Cool Kitty.
Yeah.
Urban Decay Brow Blade, Cool Kitty.
And I know ABH has some
There.
cool toned pencils as well, and I bought one. I just haven't used it yet, so I can't really vouch for it. But yes, I'm gonna go ahead and just draw in the other one really quickly. I had to get that stuff off my hands. So Nigel, take it away, honey.
Okay. No, Cheryl, I put it up there. Cool Kitty. It's up there in the comments. Couple comments up. Kelly says, I think we're just staring at what you're doing, Heather. It's hypnotizing. Beautiful. And I agree.
It gets to the point though where I'm like concentrating, like little tiny hairs. Oh my goodness, little hairs. And I get so
Calm down. You're going to turn into William Shatner. There's something on the wing. There's something out there. And Susan Runnels, who has joined us, says, hi, guys. Love watching you. You are so yourselves and very refreshing. Thank you, Susan. So is Ocean Spray Cranberry Juice. This is not a paid announcement, but we want your money.
Reality is very weird. That's all I want to say. Like, all these weird little things that are so commonplace now. Reality is weird. It's magical, but very strange.
Cheryl says she's seeing Cookie on the Ulta website. So is it Cool Cookie or Cool Kitty?
Hold on. It's Ginger Snap. No, definitely don't want Ginger Snap. I got Look at My Head. We've got Neutral Nana. We've got Dark Drapes, which is definitely a little bit on the warmer side. Cool Cookie.
Cool Cookie. Okay.
Cool Cookie?
Cool Cookie. I take that back.
Okay. Did I say it wrong?
I can't remember. I might have misheard it.
I am not good at multitasking.
That's okay. And thank you, Carmen. I try. She likes my William Shatner.
You do good voices.
Thank you.
Do you want to share any more?
I'll get you next time, Gadget. Next time.
That was awesome.
Oh. Tara says, William Shatner, I thought John Lithgow said that line. Oh, Tara. I'm going to share a bit of nerdery with you.
Oh no. Prepare.
Have you ever watched the series Third Rock from the Sun? It's great. John Lithgow plays the head of an alien task force sent to study Earth by his boss, the Big Giant Head. Well, one day, the Big Giant Head shows up, disguised to look like William Shatner. He gets off the plane drunk. Gets off the plane absolutely drunk. The pilot and the stewardess have to help him off the plane. And the aliens talk to the Big Giant Head and said, Sir, how was your flight? Oh, it was absolutely terrible. I looked out of the wing. I looked out of the window and there was something on the wing. And John Lithgow said, the same thing happened to me. Because William Shatner did the original story on the Twilight Zone TV series, and then John Lithgow did the same role in the movie. So both looked out of the window and saw something on the wing, and they made a joke about it. It was amazing.
You're very excited about this.
Oh, you have to see it for yourself. It's I can't do it justice just raving about it like a geek, but you got to see it yourself. It's Third Rock from the Sun. Amazing. Okay, I think I've yeah.
You're adorable and I love you.
Thank you. Well, I adore you, my cherished. Cara mia, querida, carica. It's only because we're in separate rooms I don't go full Gomez Adams.
I think it's probably for the best. That might.
Yeah, people don't want to watch that, or if they do, they should pay.
All right, that's about it for now. I went a little heavy. I know.
And you're back to full screen now.
All right. I'm just kind of wrapping it up. Brows are tricky. And all right, I think just to be on the safe side, I'm going to use a little bit of this highbrow stuff. Honey.
Yes, my treasure.
Whenever I'm talking, say stuff.
Okay.
I'm talking and putting stuff on and kind of concentrating, say stuff.
Okay.
Because otherwise, it's just going to be like the sound of the worried of the projector behind me, I think.
Okay.
Yeah.
Carmen says, darn, I missed that episode. Well, I can't remember which streaming service it is. If you have any streaming services, I think Third Rock from the Sun is available on one of the ones we have. I can't remember which one, but I know I've seen it, and I thought, yes, that's cool. But I've already got the entire DVD set, so okay.
Okay, finally, let's get some makeup on. All right. So I'm kind of feeling like we should go kind of pink. I think that'd be sort of fun. Pink and brown. There are tons of it. If we go that route, we'll have lots of options. So that's where we're going to go. I'm going to start with like this kind of baby pink color here. And I'm just going to put that on my lower lid. I'm not going to go crazy with it, just a little dusting.
Bettina says she just ordered a Spock Funko from Amazon.
Yes.
And Jody says, I remember that episode of Twilight Zone. I'm giving away my age here. Well, no, it just gives away your level of excellent taste is all.
Excellent taste in classic sci-fi. Never be
Time enough at last.
What was that, honey?
Time enough at last.
That's a great one. That one is also a classic.
Yeah, Kristen says the channel Laugh has Third Rock from the Sun on every Saturday and Sunday morning. We don't have that one. I'm trying to remember. I can't remember what it is. I think it might be Netflix. I might be wrong on that. Or it could be, what's that other one? What Beast Wars on? I can't remember. But yeah, I know it's on one of those streamers. Cheryl says one of my favorite episodes. Yeah, Burgess Meredith is in like 4 episodes. He's in more than any other. He's in more Twilight Zone episodes than anyone else except for perhaps Rod Serling himself.
All right, I want to take a moment to kind of tell people what I'm doing.
You do that.
So I use and I'm using the same brush for everything. I'm just kind of tapping it off and moving on to the next one. So this color is the base. I put a really light dusting on. I am wearing a primer. And then I used this kind of like rose gold color up here. And then I use this sort of champagne color here. So I'm going to go ahead and put that champagne over here as well. Now, one thing that is worth noting is that this is quite a powdery formula. It's quite powdery. So while it is buildable, you will kind of make a mess every time you play with it, but it's $10. So just tap off your brush before you go to your face with it.
Gotta interject here because Susan says your wigs are my favorite of most other wig brands.
Thank you. Oh, that's fantastic. Well, let me know which ones are your favorite, because we're planning a refill order, and part of the reason why my Patreon video didn't get posted in time is because we're finalizing the order for fall. So if you guys would like for example, we know for a fact we're making Morphon and Illuminati R for the fall. So just kind of let me know in the comments what you would like to see more of, like if you want a refill of something and get a backup for yourself, that sort of thing, or you're just curious to try something and you missed it, let me know, because we're planning that stuff now. So I would probably just leave it at this if I were going to go really, really super natural, because that rose gold has quite a nice payoff for something that is in a $10 palette. And I think that looks really soft. And if I just put some mascara on, I'd probably be good to go. Honestly, it looks very natural. So test number 1 was, is it nude? Well, heck yeah, of course. I mean, it's very well named. Not all nude eyeshadows that say they're nude eyeshadows actually are. This one totally is. Truth in advertising. I can dig it. Now, I want to go a little bit heavier with it, though, because I don't think I've actually shown off anything with the palette yet. I've just literally put 3 colors on. It looks really soft. Let's play around a little bit, I think. So I'm going to dip into some of these browns, and I'm probably going to go, let's go boom, 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 boom. Just in that order. So Nigel, if you want to go ahead, I'm going to grab my little angled brush here and just kind of build up a crease, I think.
Picture, if you will, a dimension not only of sight and sound, but of mind. Had to get that out of my system.
That's phenomenal.
Tara says, refill on, oh, there it moved. Refill order on what? I want Vaughn, but most colors have been sold out for months. Well, there you go.
Yeah, just keep letting me know. And that will help me kind of verify if my suspicion about what to make more of is correct. Because I more or less have the order prepped. I just haven't submitted it yet because I wanted to get some more feedback first. And literally these topper prototypes just came in. So we're working as fast as we can to get this order placed.
Bettina mentions just one word, Farscape. And I've got to say, yes, absolutely. The part where they make it back to Earth and Rigel gets high on Halloween candy is just fantastic.
What's this?
There's a character called Rigel. He is the Dominar, which means he is the emperor of many star systems, but he's like a little squat toad-like thing. And they end up back on Earth. I forget how, but they end up back on Earth, and they're hiding out, and it's Halloween, so no one's looking too askance at funny-looking alien characters. And so he steals some Halloween candy from some kids, and then he gets really, really high on them. And this little toad-like alien emperor is saying, "You've got to get me more sugar. I don't care. Reese's Pieces, Kit Kats, bring me more."
Oh my God. I wonder if that was paid product placement.
Don't know, but it was hilarious. What is it? Tina says, I missed out on Bardot and Bubblegum Pop.
That one's a cutie for sure. Yeah, I'm actually very interested in making more of Bardot. I am still trying to make one that has a monofilament top. That might have to be a spring of next year thing because it's taking a while to get it to look right. But I am working.
Speaking of toppers, Kristen says, would love to see a topper closer to a 44.
Alrighty. Well, I don't know. Like, I would be happy to make something with a 44 base or something that had 44 in it. I would just want to make sure that it had a little bit more color to it than just that, because that's one of the real hallmarks between like some of the more higher end stuff and stuff that's like, you know, not is that there's more attention paid to the colors and the layout and the blends. You know, we don't just use like one straight color. So would you like it to have, you know, some lighter depth to it, or maybe a little bit of underlighting, you know? That's the sort of thing you're absolutely welcome to tell me, you know, what's your dream hair look like, that sort of thing. Because even if it's not something I already make, it gives me ideas for stuff to do in the future. I'm open to all of it, really.
Okay, 3 more things I'd like to bring up. Carmen says, when will you have Bordeaux and purple velvet?
Yes, that's Royal Velvet R, and that's going to be quite probably here before Black Friday, honestly, because that's part of our fall collection. That is one that we have been planning. So that is part of this order that we're planning to place.
Mm-hmm.
And it's been in development. We have the prototype. I just haven't put them in mass production yet because I wanted to get feedback on it first. And we're placing like a ginormous order. We're not just ordering like a little bit here and there at a time. And so because of that, we really want to wait until it's finalized before we submit it. It helps us save a little bit on shipping this way because shipping this stuff can get astronomically expensive. So hopefully that is good information if you are another wig store owner and you're planning to do something like this someday. You know, try to consolidate your orders. It's harder to do, but it's actually a little bit less expensive in the long run.
Kristen says, I saw a Wig Talk video. Someone had on a Bordeaux and bubblegum pop R.
I saw that. It looked fantastic.
That's great. And Suzanne says, are there any CysterWigs for 21-inch heads?
Well, that may be a bit smaller than our cap sizes will really accommodate in most cases. But again, if enough people say, hey, I'm really interested in something that's like petite average-ish, you know what I mean? Like something that fits like E.L.F or like Noriko wigs tend to fit really kind of on the petite average size, but E.L.F and Belle Madame really, really spring to mind. Mm-hmm. If those are brands that fit really well on you, let me know. And I would be super happy to maybe consider making, some of our more popular wigs in a smaller size if people are interested in that sort of thing.
And the Mert says, I wish I hadn't missed out on Indigo Swirl. Well, that a request? Huh? Request for more Indigo Swirl in something? Let us know.
Yeah, I particularly love Indigo Swirl on Piper. I think it looks freaking dynamite on Piper. I had so much fun with that one outside. It looks so freaking cool. So
it does. I like that.
You can see that, I'm able to get quite a bit of drama with this. Like I was able to get pretty glammy with this. That's a nice range for such an inexpensive palette. Now I'm getting a tiny bit of fallout, but it's not bad because I'm tapping off my brush, unless I'm just coming in here and going tap, 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 instead of trying to sweep a lot on there to deposit a lot. I'm going to use my finger now. Let's put on one of these other colors just to kind of get that fallout off there. I want to put something kind of shimmery on. I'm thinking I'm going to go with this lighter gold color.
And in response to her earlier thing, Kristen says, yes, I would just like a darker gray and darker brown blending.
All right. Yeah. I'm totally interested in stuff like that too. I'm actually trying to create something like my hair color. I would love to, because see how it's like gray over here and it's kind of extra, and it's not gray, it's like literally coming in white. So it's definitely salt and pepper because it's white here. And
sorry.
What? Tell me.
Well, I forgot I was on microphone, but when you said salt and pepper, it reminded me of the first time I saw a Deadpool comic book, and he was being very sarcastic to a pair of assassins that came to kill him, and he said, "Ooh, salt and pepper! You guys are the ginchiest."
Oh my gosh, Deadpool's awesome.
Yeah. I'm not even that into comic books, but Chris showed me that, and I just laughed my face off.
All right, so I'm almost done making this kind of like shiny. I'm gonna put some liner on and stuff, and then we'll be all done with this, and then we'll test it on some toppers and call it a night.
Carmen's got to go, but so love you both, she says. Thank you, Carmen. Thank you for dropping by. It's been a hoot. Thanks for all the positive reinforcement. Laters. Have fun.
Okay, so yeah, I highly recommend this. Definitely think that you guys should consider it. It's $10. It's just a really, really good deal. And they're not paying me to say that. It just is. I don't think I'm going to put any liner on. I think I'm just going to put some mascara on. Let me see if I need to curl my lashes again. Curling. Nigel?
Oh. Jody says, I love the show Lucifer. On one episode, the character Maze, I swear she is wearing Ambrose and Rose Blush R.
Could be. It's kind of like one of those styles that looks like a lot of other styles. But we keep trying to come out with new colors to kind of like remind people that we're actually making these and not. We're not like white labeling a wig we got somewhere else.
Jody said she made a post in the Facebook group about it.
Well, thank you for that. That's super cool.
And Kristen says, how was your meal last Saturday from the English restaurant? Well, greasy.
You want to tell them what we had?
Oh, it was delicious, but the thing was, it, let's see if I can, there we go. I can still see you. The thing was, it's one of those things where I think it would be better if we had it fresh at the restaurant as opposed to driven to our place by John, because that takes about half an hour to get here, and by the time we got it, it was kind of lukewarm.
Yeah, it was a valiant effort on John's part, though.
No, it's not John's fault at all. It's just the distance. Yeah, but
he brought fish and chips over. It was a very nice gesture.
Yeah, but the Plowman's was very strange, I must say. It was not the type of Plowman's I was expecting.
So what was in it again?
Well, normally Plowman's is like slice of ham, a chunk of cheese, a chunk of bread, and some like Branston pickle or piccalilli or something. And
what is
the options were, the cheese were both Italian options. The meat, instead of a slice of ham, was sardines. The greenery they had was just wild rocket, what's that called here? Arugula, is that what you Americans call it?
Yes.
And the pickles were pickled vegetables, which was fine. And all the ingredients were fine. They were tasty in and of themselves, but they were. It's kind of like having, trying to buy a meat lover's pizza and ending up with a hamburger with salsa on it. You know, all the ingredients are there: bread, meat, cheese, tomato flavored sauce. They're all the same thing as you'd get in a meat lover's pizza, but they're just not the right ones put together in a different way. But it was all delicious.
It sounds really weird.
Yeah.
I mean, I think you kind of lost me at sardines.
That's okay. I ate all those.
Well, at least they're good for you, right? Sustainable too, from what I hear. So,
and they're delicious, and they taste like those Jelly Belly jelly beans.
I don't think you could pay me enough to want to eat a sardine flavored jelly bean. It's just not. That's just not something that sounds like a good idea for me to consume.
Well, you gotta like sardines or be adventurous.
I'm adventurous, just not. I have limits, man. I think that's.
I know.
That's about. Gotta maintain healthy boundaries with weird fish. Oh God, I could see that being taken out of context and being made into some kind of weird bumper sticker.
Is what a hint, Bettina?
All right.
A hint of what, per se? Bettina says, is that a hint, Nigel? I'm not quite sure what she means by that. Pray elucidate.
All right, I'm all done. Hopefully it's even. I told everyone I'd get a little closer this time. I even turned down the light.
Looks good from here, my sweet.
All right, I just want to make sure that the detail's showing. I didn't put any liner on. I just put mascara on. I'm just still kind of drying. I put a little bit of that gold in there, so that way there'd be a little bit of kind of that warmer tone. So that way when I put some of these cooler tones on, we can see if it goes with it. Because the second test is it neutral? I don't know. I raised up the camera and tilted it down a little bit so you can see the top of my head in all of its majesty. So I'm going to push the chair back just a little bit. Now the toppers that I'm developing, with the exception of one, and I may not make all 4 of these in the fall. That's kind of why I would like some feedback. And this is actually what has been holding up me placing up the fall orders, is actually, you know, finalizing what, if any of these I want to make. So I have 4 toppers here. I'm going to put them all on, going to clip them all in, and I want to prep my hair a little bit first and kind of show you what I do. So the first step is I washed it. Like before I put my makeup on, I took a shower, washed my hair very well, tried to get most of the oils off of it. And then I also didn't condition it. You don't want, I mean, if your hair is long, you want to condition the bottom. But anywhere where the topper is going to adhere, you want to kind of avoid it. So you can do the tips, but just don't do it near the base, because you kind of want it to not be slick. And I'm actually going to comb my hair back a little bit. I don't have much. And none of these toppers, by the way, are going to match my hair at all. Not at all, because my hair is kind of like really dark brown, like a 2-4 blend, and it's got a lot of white, particularly near the front. And my eyebrows, not that I'm bitter. It's still kind of shocking sometimes.
Sharon says, beautiful, Heather. And Kelly says, really pretty. And Cheryl says, gorgeous, Heather.
Thank you. $10 eyeshadow palette. You know, it's good stuff. So I don't really have much to back comb here, right? And by that, I mean just kind of lifting it up and gently kind of scoopy doopy a little bit, kind of fluffing it up, but gently, don't pull it. I don't really have much hair to do that with, and the hair that I do have is really thin, so I'm not really gonna do much with this step. Just trying to rough it up a little bit more. And I may even spray a little bit of hairspray on it. This is John Renault Synthetic Safe Holding Spray, just to kind of gunk up the top of my head a little bit. It doesn't have to be this exact product, and it doesn't have to be a really firm hold. It's just good to have a little bit of stiffness, particularly if your hair is really thin where the topper is going to be applied. I just put it all over the top, as it's going to help. This stuff smells nice though. And I am not really into glue. When I use toppers, or when I have lace fronts that won't stay down, I'm not really prone to using a lot of It Stays. I don't like putting gloppy stuff on my face. I mean, I know I just put a bunch of makeup on, but that's actually kind of a nice experience. Whereas, unfortunately, sometimes adhesives can be really sticky and gross, and they feel weird. So I use tape instead. I'm not actually going to tape these toppers down, I don't think, but I have it handy just in case I change my mind. But if I'm going to be changing from one topper to another, I don't necessarily want to adhere them in place. You know what I mean? I am going to use the clips though. So I'm going to start with the shortest topper. This one's kind of in a neutral color, so we're not going to consider this warm or cool, but those will be represented here. It's got some warm tones in it, but it also has some ashy tones, so it's kind of balanced. I keep trying to make a prototype of some of our more popular heat-friendly synthetic fibers from one line in the other. This is a synthetic fiber. It should be heat-friendly. I'm going to test that out a little bit more and see how it performs. This one is not. It is not a lace front one. And I made this one intentionally for people who like really short toppers, who have hairlines, or would like, you know, the topper to just be a bang to kind of cut costs, you know, make it a little bit less expensive.
Well, that answers your question then, Cheryl.
What's that?
She said, how big are you making the bases and any lace fronts? And you just showed no lace fronts, and you showed the size of the base.
There are lace fronts. This one does not have one.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Stay tuned, Cheryl.
So I made this one to intentionally make like a really quick little shaggy bob. So if you have a natural pixie or really short bob, and you would like to turn it into a kind of shattered bob cut, I've got you covered here. So right now I'm just trying to get it even. And I'm trying to make sure that I don't actually pull my hair. Remember, when you go into a topper, you want to go down and in. You want to scoop that hair up so it doesn't get pulled.
Kristen says that is a pretty color.
Thank you. Yeah, it's just a prototype. I don't even have a name for it yet. I was just kind of thinking it'd be cute.
Ooh,
But
I like that one.
I hadn't seen any toppers like this that did this sort of thing where it could turn a pixie into this kind of shattered, funky little bob do. And I thought, wouldn't that be cool? So that's what we got here. Now you can see the back isn't as thick because it's just meant to add a little bit extra hair on top. So this is where your bio hair would go. This would look super cute if you have any kind of stacked haircut. It would work back here too, but literally you don't need to have a bob on the bottom. It actually will work better if you have a pixie or like a really choppy little shag. So it's for the people who have really, really short hair who would like something that's not quite as short and kind of funky and don't necessarily want a full wig. It is a monofilament top and it is hand tied. And
well, the Mert says, I think if they have bangs, I wouldn't need a lace front.
yeah, this one does have bangs, though. The bangs are quite long, so you will have. I mean, you can see that they end almost at the tip of my nose. So you can cut them if you like, or just have a really nice long fringe.
And you're getting a fair amount of positive reviews, feedback for this.
Yeah, I don't want to neglect my sisters who like toppers. I know I don't talk about toppers very often, but honestly, I feel like they need a lot of help because it's difficult finding toppers. It's really difficult. It's difficult to find ones that work well with your hair. It's, but the thing is, I think part of that's honestly because a lot of people want it to be exactly like their hair. And you can see this isn't even close to being exactly like my hair.
Well, people have been asking, and you've been working on that. So,
yeah, but the thing is, like, it still looks good, even though it's not my hair color, because it's so big and the coverage is so extensive that as long as my hair is short enough, it'll look like it's kind of deliberate. Like I just got it, stacked, dyed, so that way it was lighter on top. So we got this one. Does it work with this eyeshadow color? Like this wig color? I absolutely think it does. I think it goes really well with this. But it's actually one of the more balanced colors. Oh, I'm afraid I might sneeze. Hey, Nigel, can you take over for a couple seconds? I think I might sneeze.
Sure. Okay. I will take over. And let's see where it says, great product. Very cute. But it still works because of the roots too. Good job, Heather. I'm impressed. Let's see. General praise all around, pretty much. Yep. So.
Awesome.
And Kelly says, bless you.
Thank you. This one is a slightly different one. This one is longer. Let me see if I've got a wide tooth comb. I totally do. Yay. And as I mentioned, I made all of these in heat-friendly fiber. You can tell because this would be a lot shinier if it wasn't. So that means you got to be slightly more gentle with them, but it does mean that you can curl it if you want. You can straighten them out. This one has a really wide base as well. Check that out. This one does have a lace front, and it's a nice one, and it's hand-tied. Huzzah. And it has some clips. This one does not have as many clips as I would like it to have, though. So this one is going to go back to the drawing board. But I wanted to show it to you. I wanted to show you the color. We have other ones with really very much the similar base. They've just got more clips, and that's the version I want to run with. Because the more clips, the better. But let me put this one on for you so you can kind of get a look. And this is actually my attempt to recreate Illuminati R. We're working with two different factories. One that specializes in fashion wigs and one that specifically makes like really nice medical wigs. And this is the factory that deals a lot with medical wigs and hand-tied stuff. But this is Illuminati R from that factory. We had them duplicate it for us. It does need to have like shorter roots, I think. But if we shorten the roots, I think it's basically going to be perfect. It's not quite white. It's almost white. It's got a little bit of very, very pale beige blonde in it.
It's creamy.
Yeah, we like that. So does
I'm
this...
from Devonshire. I love cream.
You're biased.
Proper job.
You are. So,
I adore you.
I love you too. Does this go with this eyeshadow? I still think it totally does. I think this looks really cool. I think I could, you know, we should go on a date, Nigel, and this would look really good for 10 bucks. Yes. Woo! Not that the topper would be 10 bucks, but just FYI, if I do make toppers, I'm going to try to make sure that they're priced really compassionately. Like, the price point is something that really matters to me, but these are definitely going to be more than Ambrose, because Ambrose has 0% monofilament in her, and this one is almost entirely monofilament.
Okay, getting lots of positive feedback for this. And do you mean the date would be for 10 bucks? Because, you know, Taco Bell, they do some good bargains.
I won't turn down a chicken quesadilla. Ever.
This is not a paid announcement or advertisement for Taco Bell.
Announcement of chicken quesadillas. That is a perfect meal, particularly if you put a little pico de gallo. That's vegetables, man. So you get your dairy, you get your meat, you get your cheese, you get your bread. Even though you probably do without the bread, it's delicious. It's the weekend, whatever.
But you haven't got, you know, the pico de gallo, but you've got that guacamole.
Oh, Helen said she's learning a lot about toppers.
Excellent.
Before tonight. That's fantastic. That is exactly what we're here to do. We're here to goof off and help people learn stuff, which is fun when you combine them, I think. This is what I'm leaning towards, and this is actually the same topper in 2 different colors. They might look the same superficially, but they're not. This is actually like an 814 combination. So there you go. And this one is a little bit more like, you know, an 829 SS. You know, catch my drift. It's very similar to that color, not the same, because it's not as bright near the front as the glazed hazelnut from Raquel Welch would be, but the color combination is very similar. I actually like it when it doesn't have that bright orange right near the front. I think it's a little easier to wear when it's a little bit brunette near the front. So that was the change I made. But like I said, they're the exact same topper with the exact same construction. One's just shorter than the other and a little bit more layered. So this is what the base looks like. It's completely hand-tied. All right, except for this bit in the back, which is wefted, and that's for ventilation and volume at the crown. There's a tiny bit of permatease, just a little tiny bit in that wefted area in the back, so it gives you just a little bit of volume, just a little bit. And that also helps us keep the weight of these toppers down, because when you're making top pieces, and not just volumizers, when you're making top pieces for women with medical hair loss, and you're expecting them to clip it into their hair, you have to pay attention to the weight, because if a topper is heavy, it could potentially make your hair loss worse. And that's part of why prepping your hair is really important. Like if my hair gets longer and I do another demo like this, I will have to incorporate more steps. I might have to put some Got2b glued in my hair or something like that. I will have to do more things to get these toppers to sit comfortably. But that's just part of the process. And if I go through that, I'll try to make sure I share it on camera as well. So that way we can all enjoy toppers together and kind of learn a little bit more in a real-time fashion. I'm committed to growing this out, even though I'm kind of over my bio hair at this point. It's super hormonal. It's not super cute, but it is what it is. So there is a lace front that is also hand-tied, pre-cut, really nice. I like how they did the edges on these. I'm super happy with it. And lots of clips. You get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Hold on. Yeah, you get 7 of these. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 clips. That's magic. That is a lot of these little clips. And more clips is better, because it is spreading those pressure points all over the top of my head and not just in a concentrated space, which will minimize tugging and pulling. And that's really what we're trying to do with a lot of this. It doesn't just have to look nice, but we have to be able to minimize the tugging and pulling. So the way I'm centering these is I'm finding the clips. I'm finding my hairline, which you follow the 4-finger rule. If you don't have a front hairline, you know, like if it's receded, or if you have alopecia there, you want to just make sure that you find where 4 fingers is up on your forehead, and you kind of lay it there. Now you're probably gonna have to adjust this. So what I like to do is the front ones first, And then I'm going to gently do all the ones in the back, because if those two are in position, then the rest are golden. And this clip is going to go right here in the back. It's already kind of in there, and I'm clipping it. You don't need to grab a ton of hair each time. All right, and I actually like where this is positioned. There's that lace front. I'm actually going to just kind of pull some of my hair out over here on the edges. And now we are gonna clip the rest of these in place. And again, you want to kind of go, you know, you want to go down and in when you're clipping these. That will be much more comfortable. You'll grab a little bit more hair and it will pull a lot less. You know, you can see I'm doing this and it's not too bad. So that's really the goal, is to spread that weight around. And if you want this to look even more natural, you could even pluck it, because the hairline is a little bit on the full side. I'm going to adjust this front a little bit, because see how that's kind of buckling up? I'm actually going to move this up and make sure it's just a little bit tighter. And I'm intentionally leaving my edges down. Because that just looks a little bit more natural. See? Now, if I were going to wear this, I would take a little bit of toupee tape, the blue tape, and I would put it here. Hold it down, and actually put it on the sides where the part isn't there. I'd put it here and here, little tiny pieces, hold it down, and then it would stay in place in the front as well. But you want to make sure it's laying flat first before you kind of use adhesive, because if it's kind of buckling, then the adhesive is going to kind of buckle a little bit too, and you're going to get like a little bump. It's not cute. But I love the way this color turned out. I love the texture of this thing.
Yeah, a lot of general support for this one.
It's super cute.
Yeah.
I love the layering.
In fact, Kelly says, "OM gosh, how cute."
So yeah, I'm really into this one. I like it a lot. I love the color. What do you guys think of this color? It's kind of like my take on something like glazed hazelnut. It's just a little bit more brunette, because that's how I roll. I really like brunette colors, and I found that a lot of my customers really like brunette colors. So I was like,
I like brunette colors.
I know you do. It's an added bonus. I'm going to comb this just a little bit on this side, at least, so you can kind of see how that looks. And this is a heat-friendly fiber deliberately because you can style it, but also because it's less shiny. So it'll integrate with hair, like bio hair, a little bit better. I find that heat-friendly toppers tend to look a little bit more natural than the regular synthetic ones, because you can tell with that contrast with your bio hair poking out at the bottom, where the bio hair ends and the synthetic hair begins, and vice versa. And I wore synthetic toppers for a really long time. My preference was always for the heat-friendly ones for that reason, because they just look a little bit more convincing. So now I'm going to put on this last one. But before I do, does this eyeshadow totally goes with brunette colors. This eyeshadow is going to go with everything. I think it really does pass the test for sure, before I even put this fourth one on that I have to show you, which is an ashier brunette color. Whereas this is kind of like, you know, an 829 blend with like a little bit of a 6 thrown in and like a 4 root. The next one is literally an 8 with the 14 highlight. So it is really pretty. It's a nice classic color blend, but it's definitely going to have a little bit more of an ashy tone to it. And I'm going to show this to you. Again, it has a little bit of volume at the crown intentionally. And it has the exact same cap as the last one. And here's what this looks like. That's so good. I'm so excited about it. I mean, the scalp even looks kind of cool from the underside. I don't know if you can see where the colors are laid out and stuff, but that's pretty sweet. I'm going to open up the clips. I like to open them all up before I try to get it on my head. And you got to be really careful how you apply these. I made a whole video about applying toppers, just called like toppers or something like that, like all about toppers. And it's probably my best performing video. but really applying it is important. You have to practice it. Woof. Like Cousin It style. You have to practice it, because if you don't get it on there just right, you will end up pulling your hair, and you can give yourself headaches, and it can just be really awful. But if you do it right, you can actually do a lot more. You can see my hair length is actually kind of a problem right now. My bio hair is that pesky length where it doesn't want to go underneath my edges, my topper here. It just doesn't want to lay right. So, oh well.
I want to interject here a second because Kristen brings up an interesting point. I've spent a small fortune on customized human hair toppers and was always disappointed. Couldn't even wear them. Well, we had problems with the human hair toppers we used to sell, didn't we?
Yeah, I mean, they're heavy. They're heavy. They're not comfortable because they're heavy. And the heavier the topper is, the more you feel it, and the more it feels like it's pulling and tugging on your hair, which is not a comfortable sensation. It can lead to headaches. It can lead to more hair loss. It's just no bueno. You know, people wonder sometimes if wearing lace front wigs or wearing wigs is going to hurt your hair. No, it's protective. Really, it's considered protective. It's actually pretty safe to wear a wig. Where you'll get into trouble is if you have a sensitive scalp and you use chemicals to maintain your wig that you are sensitive to. That's not going to be great. I think the other thing is that some people just aren't appropriate candidates for certain products. You know, like not everyone's going to be able to wear a topper. If you're like me and you have profound hair loss that is all over your head, it's really difficult to wear toppers long term as your singular solution. You're much better off getting a wig full time and just wearing this once in a while when you want to change up your style. But it's always nice to have the option, because you can do updos, ponytails, and all that stuff a lot more easily. And sometimes, frankly, in hot weather, or if you have hot flashes, but you still want a nice full head of hair, it can be more comfortable when you're using your bio hair in the back, because there's nothing covering up your actual skin back there aside from your bio hair, you know. So it's actually a lot cooler than wearing a full wig and then trying to put that back in a ponytail, if that makes sense. Now, again, if I were wearing this and going to go out with it, I would tape it down. And in fact, I would probably pluck the front hairline just as a matter of personal preference, because it's really thick, but it's still really lightweight, which is what I love about the toppers that we made. They have so much beautiful hair to play with, but they're not really super heavy. And right now I'm just trying to gently repurp this, even though it really liked the part where it was. I just want to show you where that is located on the top.
We're getting an outpouring of support and adulation for this one.
Oh, hooray! It's so incredibly pretty. I'm so happy with how these have turned out, but it's so thick. This one is really thick. The other one doesn't feel like it's got as much hair on it, even though it does, because it thins itself out towards the bottoms because it's got more layering. This one is definitely meant to be fuller. Oh, so good. So,
yeah, you're getting a hefty dose of support for this one. Kelly brings up a point which you might want to keep in mind for future products. She says, I need a very curly topper, Heather, like Jamil or Storyville.
That would be super fun. I'm actually working on a full wig right now that has a similar texture. And in fact,
there you go.
Yeah, Nigel, you've seen it, the Roxanne one we're working on.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that is a very curly wig.
She is an inverted bob with a perm, like a perm. She's got like tight ringlets. So when you said Storyville, it made me think of that because it looks really cool. The problem is I need to get the cap right. We tried it with an open cap and there's no way, not with that hair texture. So we tried it with just a lace front. I was still not satisfied. So we're making another version with a monofilament part. And once I have a product that I am satisfied with, we will show you here in the live streams, or at least if it's like that one topper where I need to add more clips. If it's like 90% of the way there, I'll show it to you and get some feedback from it. But that one is still just not ready for prime time, because trying to do a curly wig like that and having it not look super, you know, like ethnic, because I don't know if that would be appropriate coming from me. You know what I mean? But I want it to skirt that fine line where it could be, but it doesn't necessarily have to look that way. And it has a natural looking hairline and a natural scalp. Because if the hair is going to be that over the top, people are going to stare at it, right? It's a statement piece, and I want it to really look convincing. So we're tweaking it a little bit, and I'll let you know how that goes. So yeah, I think that's pretty much it, with the exception of the merch. No, these are probably going to be for our fall collection because it takes about 5 months from the time that we finalize the prototypes until and then place the order from when they actually get done. Especially with these are very time consuming to make because so much of them are going to be hand tied. Like all of these have a ton of hand tied real estate on them, so that takes a lot longer than even the machine made wigs that we've been making.
What gives you more time to save up for it, though?
That's right. So yeah, let me see. We gotta talk about the giveaway, honey.
Oh.
You ready?
Oops. Hang on. Wait a minute. There you go. I meant to hit the bring camera back online, but I accidentally hit the settings button. So hey, okay. Yes. Let's talk about this, shall we?
I'll put it on then.
All right. Oh, I'm on the banners. There we go. Yeah. Banners. Okay.
Oh my gosh. Why are you acting like we didn't talk about this before this?
Oh, we did. But, you know,
I feel like we just had a married moment. Bum, 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 bum. We're like, I told you something, and
I remember she had a very cute smile.
I like you. Go ahead, do the thing, honey.
Well, the first clue is part of the entry details. There are multiple steps. Make sure you don't miss a step.
Yeah.
Tonight's clue for the giveaway. Sign up for the newsletter on CysterWigs.com. We'll check.
Yeah, I'm trying to make sure that all the things I'm making you guys do for entry are like things you've already done or are things that you don't have to pay to do. So this is a cheap one. And it helps us notify you of stuff like sales and when we make stuff and giveaways and stuff. So, you know, if you're already subscribed, you're good. You're golden. You've already completed the step. Rock on. But if you haven't, make sure that you go to CysterWigs.com and sign up for our newsletter. So that way, when we go to check this step, we see that you did it. Because if you didn't, we're not going to like be like, okay, go ahead and sign up now. No, we're actually going to move on to the next person. So make sure you sign up. And what's the other tidbit of information that people need to remember that we're not on screen?
The other thing you need to keep track of, the important thing, the secret word for today is dude. Because we watched The Big Lebowski earlier. Dude.
So much dude. So, random word. Remember it. Remember the one from last week. No spoilers. Nobody give it away. We got to watch it. And then, you know, we'll keep this going until it's time to give the thing away. And we'll do that thing. It'll be fun. It's home. It's sitting right there in the spotlight. That's it in the spotlight. Sit in the corner. I messed up all those words. Okay. So I think that's about it. So thank you for joining us, everybody. I hope that you had a beautiful night.
Yes, indeed.
Woohoo, let's go bowling. So hold on. I see some more people and I want to say hi. So Penny, thank you for joining us and thank you for the feedback. I love this length. I love this. That's why I had that wig cut into a wig roughly this length because I just really love these mid lengths. Kristen said, I had one of my toppers, the cat, and it was so hot that I felt like I had a sleeping cat wrapped around my head. I feel that way in a lot of things when they're too heavy. I live in Georgia. I literally tried to go to the park today and drink some tea on a park bench in a little pavilion. I thought it'd be super cute. And I had a bajillion bugs all over me the whole time. I was like, you know what? enough with this. I need to just like walk around with a giant mosquito net hat apparently to enjoy outside.
Well, that's why I think Georgia should change its state motto to "We hope you like wasps."
We got wasps. If you want wasps, we got.
I've seen more species of wasps just around our house than I think I've seen in all of Britain.
It's wild down here. We've had birds, we have lizards, we have snakes,
frogs, toads.
It's literally like Jurassic Park. It's
like
I'm waiting to see Kermit the Frog on our doorstep because we live like swamp adjacent.
I think we scared him away with all our in and out of the door the other day.
Aww.
Haven't seen him back since. But we also have dragonflies, butterflies, and spiny orb weavers.
Yeah. So thank you so much for hanging out with us, everybody. Hopefully we'll see you tomorrow at 6.
Yeah.
Have a great night.
Thanks, everyone.